What's up, gamers? Recently, I bought new mechanical keyboard for 120 bucks. That's a hell of a price for me. But why you spend so much, you might ask? Well, of course, to play also freaking drums. But also, why keyboards can be that expensive? Well, I figured it out. And I'll tell you about this later. First, I wanted to know if there's any major differences in gameplay when you go from cheap-ass keyboards to, like, expensive stuff. Luckily, I have 4 participants, from 3 bucks to, well, 120 bucks. This is regular membrane keyboard you can find in any office or your garage. This is awful. Next, we go in, well, elite gaming theory, because this thing has RGB and costs 20 bucks. Feels not that bad. Next up we have Z-Blade Pro. Pretty decent mechanical keyboard for 55 bucks. And king of the party, Logitech G513. This pleasant boy costs 120 bucks. Well, let's test them on our battlefield, shall we? Okay guys, I said we have 4 keyboards here, but actually when I tried to record the test, cheap one just broke, and I hadn't had any other crappy boards, so it's only about these 3 now. Well, anyway, that's a huge gap. 20, 50 and 120. So do you need to pay a lot of money to be good at the game? Let's find out. I choose 3 songs from 3 to 5 star range, because this difficulties has the most players on it. That is not the fun fact, but I just think it is. That's why we start from easy chilly Muzakashi song. It has big notes, simple KKK and DDD patterns, everything you used to see in Muzakashi map. I don't think Muzakashi gameplay is the most interesting thing in the world to watch, so why don't we talk about differences between these keyboards? As I already said, why keyboards cost this much, and why membrane can be cheap as hell? Well, as we can guess from the name of it, this type of keyboards use membrane, the huge rubber membrane underneath your plastic chassis. It activates when you press the button straight down to the bottom. Then key springs back with membrane. Generally, it works like this. And as you can see, there is no troubles with membrane on Muzakashi. Yes, I have more 100 hits on this keyboard, but I guess this is only because I really used to play on mechanical boards for now. So we can assume that you can use any keyboards to play on this diff. Well, it is not a great surprise. Let's get a little bit higher. Now we are at Oni diff, with harder patterns. Let's see how our keyboards do on this. And we were talking about keyboard differences. So, last 2 words is mechanical. It means each key has individual switch to it. There is a lot of switches on market, but I play on reds. They have no haptic feedback, they're linear. If you want big video about type of keyboards with full information about them, tell me about it in comments. Today we are only running a little test. Mechanical switches have actuation distance. It means you don't have to fully press your keys to activate them. After you pressed it, key goes back with spring installed in every switch. Mechanical keyboards have more complex structure, and that's why they are so expensive. Pricing on membrane depends on materials, because membrane itself is cheap, but on mechanical keyboards there is not only materials that create the price tag, there's also different manufacturers for switches. And that's it? Well, yeah, in general. This topic has a lot of ins and outs, so we'll talk about it in another video. It doesn't mean if you buy a mechanical board, you'll be playing better in instance. But yes, it can make your life easier when you climb to the top of Taiko leaderboards. Let's talk about it after we analyze results on this song. Well, what we have here? I miss on membrane, but I think it's my fault, not the board's, because overall accuracy is pretty much the same. Somehow, I even managed to hit more big notes with the membrane. But even with this, expensive boards wins with score once again. Why won't we try something harder this time, and faster? This song has 225 BPM, which is pretty high for beginners. I think this exact song can show you advantages of mechanicals. The point of this whole video is you don't need expensive devices to win, at least at the start of your journey. People usually full combo previous maps when they have around 100 or more hours. What I wanted to say is you should consider buying mechanical boards only if you're really into the game. For your first 200 hours it's totally okay to play on anything you want. But if you want to play higher BPMs or even double times, mechanical keyboards will be lifesaver, because membrane is not strong enough to keep the key up when you press it couple times a second. Springs in mechanical keyboards is more durable for button mashes, and they will be more accurate. On cheap membrane, keys can even stuck and break your combo. Mechanicals will never do such a thing. At least it shouldn't. Well, let's see how it goes. Here it is! Membrane isn't that comfortable to play on high BPMs. Mechanical showed the best results with high BPMs, but it's not impossible to do the same on membrane. Result on membrane is worse for sure, but not that bad. Also yes, I know that there is a lot of different type of keyboards, but I simply don't have other ones. For example, on the top of the Taiko leaderboards people play on scissor switches. This is kind of switches manufacturers use on laptops, but there's also a lot of keyboards like this. Top players use this for a reason. Scissor switches have minimal actuation distance, so it's easier to play on double times and hard rocks. This is a massive boost for your accuracy. By minimal actuation distance I mean it is pressed just when you touch it. Like, really. I also want to try it out, but maybe later. I mean, pros can't be wrong about this. So, if you don't have stack of money burning in your pocket, you can try keyboards with scissor switches. Well, what's now? Expensive keyboards are pay to win? Of course not. We are talking about conveniences here. You totally can be good, even playing on laptop or this crap. But this can be very stressful when you need to perform some button mashes. I want to say that money can't buy you skill. It's only a tool for you to get good. Thank you for watching. Look at graph. Feel guilty that you're not subscribed, and subscribe. Follow my Twitter and Twitch to get in touch. See ya.